For ages you have been taught that God is outside of your kingdom, somewhere in the fathoms of space. Many of you have believed this and accepted it as a truth, but God, the principal cause of all life, had never been outside of you. It is you. It is the wonderful thought processes, the supreme intelligence that lies silent and ever-present within man. You have been taught that you are born only to live in a moment of time, to grow old, and then die. Because you have believed that to be true, it has indeed become the reality of your life upon this plane. But I am here to help you realize that you are indeed an ongoing, immortal essence who has been living billions of years ever since God, your beloved Father, the totality of thought, contemplated itself into the brilliance of light, which each of you became. That is when each of you came to be unique and sovereign and a forever part of the mind of God. You have been taught that God is a singular entity who with his hands made heaven and earth and then created the living creature called man. But it is you, the possessors of divine intelligence and the freedom of will, who are the great creators of all life. It is you who created the morning sun, the evening sky, and the loveliness of all things that are. It is you indeed who created the remarkable creature called man so that you, who were brilliant lights in the void of space, could experience all the wonderment of your created forms. My beloved brothers, the understanding of who each of you are is indeed a collection of illusions you have been living for thousands of years. You are more than merely human. You are far greater than the limited creature called man. You are God. You always have been. You always will be. You are the great immortal creators who have been living here life after life to realize this grand understanding that you allowed to be taken away from you. All of you are God himself, created of himself. You are God's created of God, the first and only direct creation of the source of all life. In your adventures into the exploration of life, you have integrated your supreme intelligence with cellular matter to become God, man, the mind of God expressing in the form called humanity, gods living in the wonderment of their own creation termed man, mankind, womankind, humanity. It is God indeed wonderfully disguised as limited, wretched entities. Who are you? Why are you here? What is your purpose and your destiny? Do you think you are merely a creature of coincidence born to live in a wisp of time and then to be no more? Indeed? What makes you think you did not live before? Why now? And why you? You have lived upon this plane thousands of lifetimes, and you have come and gone like a fickle wind. You have lived every face, every color, every creed, every religion. You have warred and been warred upon. You have been king and servant alike. You have been sailor and captain. You have been conqueror and conquered. You have been everything there is in all of your historical understandings. Why? For the purpose of feeling, for the purpose of wisdom, for the purpose of identifying the greatest mystery of all times, you. Where do you think you came from? Do you think you are simply a wretched bunch of cellular mass that has evolved from a singular cell? Then who is it that peers so intently from behind your eyes? What is the essence that gives you your uniqueness and personality, your character and zest, your ability to love, to embrace, to hope, to dream, and the awesome power to create? And where did you accumulate all of the intelligence, all the knowledge, all the wisdom that you display, even as a little child? Do you think you became what you are merely in one lifetime that is only a breath in eternity? Everything that you are, you have become over the vastness of time by living life after life, and from each of those life experiences, you have gathered to you the wisdom that has helped to formulate the uniqueness and the beauty called you. You are much too priceless, you are much too beautiful to have been created for only a moment's siege upon the eternalness of time. You think your parents created you? Your mother and father are your genetic parents, but they did not create you. In a greater understanding, they are your beloved brothers. And you are indeed as old as they are, for all entities were created in the same moment. All were born when God, The grand and magnificent thought contemplated and expanded itself into the brilliance of light. That is when you came to be, that is when you were born. Your true parent is God, the mother, father principle of all life. You think your body is you? 'Tis not. Your body is only a cloak that represents the unseen essence that is your true identity. The collection of feeling attitudes, called your personality self, that lies within your embodiment. Ponder this for a moment. What do you love about another entity? Is it the body? Number. It is the essence of another that you love, the unseen personality self that lies behind the eyes. What you love about another is the unseen essence that makes the body work, that makes the eyes flicker, the voice melodious, the hair have sheen, the hands have touch. Your body is indeed a wonderful, refined machine, as it were, but it is nothing without that which works it, which is you. What you are is not your embodiment but a collection of thoughts or feeling attitudes, which presents itself as a unique personality self. And have you ever seen your thoughts? Have you ever seen your personality? What about your laughter? Can you hear it without your body? You have not the conception of how grand you really are, for what you truly are is as unseen as the wind. As I am an enigma to you, so are you to yourself the greatest enigma of all. Do you know what you are without your pretenses, without the masks that you wear, without your armor of hard-heartedness? Within the core of your being you are indeed God. God, the great mystery to mankind, had never been outside of you, for what lies behind your eyes, beneath your fine linen, beyond the illusion of your face, is the unseen virtue of thought called God. The personality self that makes you you. The God within you is the sublime intelligence that gives you credence and the awesome power to create. It is the wonderful life force that maintains your life forever and ever and ever. The body that you inhabit is a magnificent creation of God's, you and your beloved brothers. It was created so that you, an unseen essence of thought and emotion, could interact with the life you created upon this plane. The creature called man was created simply as a vehicle to express through, so that through the senses of the embodiment all of the creations upon this plane could be experienced and understood by the gods who created them in the beginning. The body was created to house a most complex electrical system of light variables that make up and constitute the true entity self. What you really are is not the size of your body. You are a little pinpoint of light. In the smallness of your being is collected everything that you have ever been since you were born of God. Your beloved Father, you, the God principle, are not a flesh entity. You are a rounded, fiery, pure energy, light principle living within a body to obtain the prize of creative life called emotion. What you truly are is not what you inhabit, it is what you feel. You are known by your emotions, not by your body. What you truly are is spirit and soul. A light entity and an emotional entity combined. Your spirit, this little point of light, surrounds all molecular structures of your body. Thus it houses and supports the mass of your embodiment. Your soul lies within the mass, near your heart, in a cavity under a shield of bone wherein nothing exists except electrical energy. Your soul records and stores, in the form of emotion, every thought you have ever entertained. It is because of the unique collectiveness of emotion stored within your soul that you have a unique ego identity or personality self. The body that you inhabit is simply a carriage, a chosen, refined vehicle, that allows you to live and play upon a plane of matter. Yet through your vehicle you have steeped yourself in the illusion that your body is who you are. 'Tis not. Just as God is imageless, so be you. Great creative God that you are, who do you think has created your life? Do you believe that a supreme being or forces outside of you have controlled your life? That is not the truth as it is known. All you have ever done, been, or experienced, you are wholly responsible for. You, who have the power to create the magnificence of stars, have created every moment and every circumstance of your life. Who you are, you chose to be, what you look like, you created, how you live, you wholly designed and destined. That is the exercise and privilege, if you will, of being God, man. You create your life through your own thought processes by how you think. Everything you think, you will feel, and all that you feel manifests to create the conditions of your life. Ponder this. It only takes you a moment to envision happiness and your whole body will feel joyful. It only takes you a moment to play the part of a wretched creature whom no one has befriended, and you will feel sorrow and pity for yourself. It only takes a moment to do that. It takes you but a moment to stop weeping and to laugh with glee. It takes you a moment to stop judging and feel the beauty of all things. Now who is doing all of this? You. And while you have had this fancy of creating feelings within your being, has anything around you changed? But everything that you are has. You are precisely what you are thinking. Everything you think, so will it be in your life. If you ponder a fantasy of copulation, your being will become enticed. If you ponder misery, you will have misery. If you ponder unhappiness, you will have it. If you ponder joy, you will have it. If you ponder genius, it is already there. How is your future created? Through thought. All of your tomorrows are designed by your thoughts this very day. For every thought you entertain, every fantasy you have, for whatever emotional purpose, creates a feeling within your body which is recorded within your soul. That feeling then sets a precedent for the conditions in your life, for it will draw to you circumstances that will create and match the same feeling that has been recorded in your soul. And know that every word you utter is creating your days to come. For words are only sounds that express the feelings within your soul that have been given birth through thought. Do you think that things happen to you simply by chance? That is not the truth as it is known. There is no such thing as an accident or a coincidence in this kingdom, and no one is a victim of anyone else's will or designs. Everything that happens to you, you have thought and felt into your life. Either it has been fantasized in what-ifs or in fears, or someone has told you that something would be and you accepted it as a truth. Everything that happens as an intentional act that is ordained through thought and emotion. Everything you have ever thought, every fantasy you have ever had, all the things you have spoken, have all come to pass or are waiting to come to pass. For how think you everything is created? It is created through thought. Thought is the true giver of life that never dies, that never can be destroyed, and you have used it to think yourself into life, for it is your link to the mind of God. For ages entities have tried to teach you this truth through riddles, through songs, through writings, but most of you have refused to realize it because few have wanted to have the responsibility for their lives on their own shoulders. But the way this kingdom works is that everything you think, every attitude you hold towards yourself, the Father, life, will become, from the vilest and ugliest of things to the most exquisite and supreme of things, for only you know the difference. The Father knows only life. So you get what you speak. You are what you think, you am what you conclude. The less you think of yourself, the less you become. The less you give credit to yourself for having intelligence, the more of an imbecile you become. The less beautiful you think you are, the more ugly you become. The more impoverished you think you are, the more wretched you become because you have ordained it to be so. Contemplate how great the love of God is, that it allows you to be and to create for yourself anything you wish, yet never judges you. Contemplate the love that it has for you, such that it manifests for you every thought you embrace and every word you utter. Contemplate it. So who is the creator of your life? You. Who is the designer of your life? You. All that you are and all that you have experienced, you have created through your own collective reasoning through thought, which is God. You have accepted into your life precisely all that you have desired to accept, and you have experienced life according to your accepted values. It is you who determine what is good for you, what is to be accepted by you, what is to be experienced by you. It is you, by your own thinking. You are not a slave or servant or puppet of some deity that watches you in your struggles. You live in the awesomeness of life in exquisite freedom. Each of you has the freedom of will to accept and embrace whatever thought you choose. And with that awesome power you have created everything for yourself. Your every thought creates the destiny that lies before you. Your every feeling creates your path called life. Whatever you think and then feel, so will it be in your life, for the Father says, every emotion, so be it. Who are you? You are God who possesses within the silence of your being the ability to think, the ability to create, and the ability to become whatever you want to become, for you are this moment precisely what you chose to be, and none has stayed your hand in becoming it. You are the lawgiver, the supreme creator of your life and life circumstances. You are indeed the supreme ruler of an all-wise intelligence that you have failed to fully realize in this and many other lives. Once you could create a flower, but what do you create for yourselves now? Your greatest creations are unhappiness, worry, pity, misery, hatred, dissension, self-denial, age, disease, and death. You create for yourselves a life of limitation by accepting limiting beliefs, which then become steadfast truths within your beings and thus the reality of your lives. You separate yourselves from life by judging all things, all people, and even yourselves. You live by a code of fashion called beauty and surround yourselves with things that permit you to be accepted by the limited consciousness of man, which accepts nothing but its own unattainable ideal. You are babes who are born to grow up, lose the vitality in your bodies, and believe yourselves into old age until you perish. You, the great creative gods who were once the winds of freedom, have become herd-like entities who cloister in great cities and live in fear behind locked doors, instead of towering mountains and wonderful winds. You have great buildings and a terrifying consciousness. You have created a society that regulates how you should think, what you should believe, how you should act, and what you should look like. You fear war and the rumors of war. You fear diseasements. You fear unacknowledgement. You tremble to look into the eyes of another, yet you hunger for the affection called love. You question every good thing that happens to you and doubt if it will ever happen again. You grovel in the marketplace for success and fame, for gold and rupees and drachmas and dollars and, but for a bit of joy. You have thought yourselves into despair. You have thought yourselves into unworthiness. You have thought yourselves into failure. You have thought yourselves into disease. You have thought yourselves into death. All of those things you have created, for the fiery creator within, who has the power to take a thought and create universes or set stars ablaze in the heavens for an eternity, has entrapped itself into belief and dogma, fashion and tradition, limited thought by limited thought by limited thought, and it is your own disbeliefs that have not allowed you to live. What do you disbelieve in? Everything that you cannot perceive through your bodily senses, anything that cannot be heard, seen, touched, tasted, or smelled. Yet show me a belief, put it in my hand. Show me an emotion, I want to touch it. Show me a thought, where is it? Show me your attitude, what does it look like? Show me the image of the wind, and show me time that has taken away the precious moments of your life. You have disbelieved in the greatest gifts of life, and because of that you have not allowed a more unlimited understanding to occur. Life upon life, existence upon existence, you became so immersed in the illusions of this plane that you forgot the wonderful fire that flows through you. In 10.5 million years you have come from being sovereign and all-powerful entities to where you are utterly lost in matter, enslaved by your own creations of dogma, law, fashion, and tradition, separated by country, greed, sex, and race, immersed in jealousy, bitterness, guilt, and fear. You so identified yourselves with your bodies that you entrapped yourselves in survival and forgot the unseen essence that you truly are, the guide within you that allows you to create your dreams however you choose. Immortality you have openly rejected, and for that you will die and return here again and again and again. Thus here you are again after 10.5 million years of living here, and yet you hold on to your disbeliefs. God, the totality of thought, is a grand stage indeed. and he allows you to write your own script and play it, part by part, upon the stage. And when your curtains are drawn, the last word is spoken and the last bow is taken, you die. For what reason? Because you, Supreme Lawmaker, believe you will. This life is all a game, it is an illusion, all of it is. But you, the players, have come to believe that it is the only reality. Yet the only reality that has ever existed and ever will exist is life. A free, ongoing essence of being that allows you to create your games however you wish to play them. When you realize that you have the power to think yourself into ignorance, disease, and death, you will also realize that you have the power to become grander simply by opening yourself up to a more unlimited thought flow, which allows you to have greater genius, greater creativity, and life forever. When you realize that the God who created the body in the first place is the power that sits within you, then your body will never age or become diseased, nor will it ever perish. But as long as you hold on to your beliefs and limit your thinking, you will never experience the unlimitedness which gave glory to the morning sun and mystery to the evening sky. What happens when you have decreed yourself to perish from this place? Well, the body dies, but you who think, in the silentness behind your eyes, always live. When you leave this plane, if you choose to die, the true you will not be buried into the ground and go to the worm and then to ash. You are ongoing with the wind, where you go is where you came from, and there you decide what you wish to do upon your next adventure, for that is what this all is. And you shall return here however many times you desire to return until you reclaim your identity as God. Then you are off on a grander adventure indeed, in another heaven, in another place. You are loved greater than you have ever imagined, for no matter what you do, you will still live. So why have you worried? Why have you fought? Why have you diseased yourself? Why have you sorrowed yourself? Why have you limited yourself? Why have you not enjoyed the splendor of the sunrise, the freedom of the wind, and the laughter of a child? Why have you not lived instead of struggling? You are going to live again and again. Your seed is perpetual. It is forever, despite all your disbeliefs. No matter how greatly you limit your kingdom, no matter how much you worry and despair, there is one thing you will never do away with, and that is called life. No matter how blind and unaccepting you are, you will always have life, for that is the value called God, and that is you. This life you are living is a dream, a great dream, a fa-ade, if you will. It is thought playing with matter, and it creates deep realities that bind your emotions to this plane until you, the dreamer, wake up. You never knew how beautiful you were, for you never really looked at yourself. You never looked at who you are and what you are. You want to see what God looks like? Go and look in a reflector. You are looking him straight in the face. Know that you have worth. There is no value to assess your worth, and there is no image to portray your beauty, and there is no end to your kingdom. The greatest sermon ever delivered was by a great master upon the mountaintop. As he stood there looking upon the masses who came to listen to him, he said unto them, Behold God. That was all he ever needed to say. Behold God. For each had created his limitations, his desires and diseasements, his wealth or his poverty, his joy and his sorrow, his life and his death. Behold God. Remember that, for you are he that lives in everything. One day you will behold God. Touch the self. That is all you need to do.